Imagine sitting in a public restaurant, tasked with the safety and surety of the nation's chemical and nuclear programs, and casually detailing sensitive military protocols to a stranger over dinner. To understand the hidden realities of modern conflict and the failures occurring behind closed doors, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It is early 2026. The United States and Israel are locked in a major war with Iran, and the country's longtime supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, has just been assassinated. In the immediate fallout, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps backed a historic dynastic shift, installing his son, Mojtaba, as the new supreme leader. While the map of the Middle East is being violently redrawn, but internal reports from the Pentagon and the front lines suggest that, behind the scenes, the U.S. military's internal discipline and operational security are beginning to show significant cracks. We start with Andrew Hugg. Until recently, he served as U.S. Chief of Chemical Nuclear Surety, a position that placed him at the center of the military's safety protocols for its most sensitive weapons. In an undercover sting video recorded by a journalist posing as a date, Hugg revealed that the U.S. still maintains stockpiles of sarin nerve agent in Maryland. He also disclosed that an Army chemist recently died after failing to follow safety protocols while exposed to the substance. Hugg then described the real-time authorization chain for a nuclear launch. He explained that the protocols are designed so that if a Girl Scout knocks on the door and provides the correct message on a box of cookies, the order must be followed. But the most explosive leak was purely geopolitical. Hugg explicitly confirmed to this stranger that the U.S. has active plans to assassinate Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, if his direction doesn't change. A branch chief responsible for the safety of weapons of mass destruction bypassed every counterintelligence protocol because he was mesmerized by a stranger's eyes. This represents a staggering failure in security maintenance at the highest levels of the Army. Meanwhile, the command structure managing the Ukraine proxy conflict faced its own internal crisis under Major General Antonio Agudo, the head of the Security Assistance Group Ukraine. Agudo directed his staff to physically carry a tube of classified maps across international boundaries, bypassing required diplomatic couriers. The tube was eventually left unattended on a civilian train, only to be recovered by Ukrainian officials a day later. Months later, he was investigated for discussing top-secret, sensitive compartmented information in an unsecured open-air pavilion. Despite warnings from his staff, reports indicate he continued the conversation within earshot of unauthorized personnel. His personal conduct also failed. During a trip to Kyiv, Agudo consumed alcohol past established limits and fell several times, injuring himself. The next morning, he arrived at a high-stakes diplomatic meeting disheveled, injured, and smelling of alcohol. The officials waiting for him inside that embassy meeting included top Ukrainian generals and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Agudo was eventually forced into retirement following a Department of Defense Inspector General report. His actions represent a failure of basic command discipline from a flag officer managing a critical theater of war. While disciplinary blunders draw scrutiny in Washington, on the ground in Iran, the human cost of administrative failure became apparent on February 28th. On the first day of the war, a U.S. strike hit the Minab primary school. The attack killed at least 175 people, the vast majority of them young girls attending class. This satellite imagery reveals how the mistake happened. A Pentagon investigation found Central Command used outdated intelligence listing the school as an active naval base, yet a physical wall separating the school was clearly visible. Despite public data, it was never a no-strike target. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stated the U.S. would never deliberately target civilians, yet he characterized the broader campaign as being carried out with no stupid rules of engagement. The targeting disaster has led to allegations of war crimes and prompted 46 U.S. senators to demand a public investigation into how decade-old intelligence could lead to such a catastrophic loss of life. A nuclear official sharing state secrets, a general losing maps and arriving drunk, and an airstrike devastating a school because of outdated data. When these events are viewed as a single timeline, they depict an institutional decay that reaches from the Pentagon's safety offices to the commanders in the field. The United States military is currently navigating its first conflict with Iran's new leadership, while its own internal security protocols are facing a historic and visible erosion. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please drop a like, share, and subscribe to the Global War Watch Network. It really helps us keep bringing you these deep dives into the realities of global conflict. Let us know what you think about these security breaches in the comments below. Links to all our social media are in the description. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.